Brooks Trisler here. I lead Realty Group, associate real estate broker, and CPA. Today, I have one of my top producing team members, Carranza Wade, with me. We're going to be discussing some of the latest moves in the market. As you may be aware, this past week, the Federal Reserve increased the short-term rate a quarter basis point as expected. We're seeing a lot of demand pressure just because of the higher cost. So we want to take a little bit deeper dive into some of these issues and continue the conversation. Is now a good time to buy if you are a home buyer? Carranza, you're working with a lot of folks in the market and you're having a lot of success with buyers. What would you tell someone in today's environment is now a good time to buy?
Absolutely. Now is a great time to buy if you're qualified to purchase a home. Just looking at just year over year where things were last year at this time, prices have gone up and they continue to go up year over year. So if you're able to buy a home right now, it's the best time to buy.
It's interesting. I was looking at the total volume of inventory, and it's at about the same level as it was before the pandemic. The issue is the number of folks that are looking for a home, the demand. So while inventory has gone up, because we hear this thing in the market that inventory's gone down or we have low inventory. Well, we weren't talking about inventory 3 years ago before the pandemic. That became a hot topic during the pandemic. So we have now gotten inventory levels back up to pre-pandemic levels, but we're still talking about the shortage of inventory. So Carranza, what does that mean to you? What are you seeing in the marketplace with your buyers? When I say shortage of inventory, what does that mean to you and your clients?
That means to me that there are more buyers in the market now. I think probably before the pandemic, we didn't have as many people moving to Texas than we do right now. So we have an influx of people coming from multiple different areas, whether it's California, New York, Florida, even Canada. We have a lot of people coming from Canada. So I think the number of buyers in the market and not as many homes becoming available. We've seen builders kind of slow down their production, and we've seen sellers be a little more anxious or a little more reserved in terms of putting their homes on the market because of the interest rate. They have good rates right now, and so they're not as motivated to sell.
Yeah, all good points. And the census actually happened while we were in the middle of the pandemic, right? And as we know, Texas is the number 2 state populace-wise in America. And the projections are that it within the next 10 years may overtake California.
Yeah.
And that the DFW Metroplex, which is the area we operate in, may become the number 1 Metroplex in all of the United States. So there's a lot of things going on to drive that demand, to drive the interest to live in North Texas, which is putting a stress on just the inventory situation.
Right.
You're right.
Right. And prices are reflecting that. If there's a good home at a great price, we're still seeing multiple offer situations.
Mm-hmm.
So it's there, but if you're probably a buyer with a higher budget, you're probably gonna have a potentially easier path to getting that home versus, you're at the median price point right now is around 360. So there's a lot of competition in that range. So from what I'm seeing right now.
Sure, absolutely. And just the other day we were discussing this new well, it's not really a new program, but it's a program that first-time home buyers could take advantage of to get a 20% tax credit on their mortgage interest paid. So would you see that as being a game changer if you were a first-time home buyer nervous about getting in the market right now?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, because as a first-time home buyer, there's a lot of upfront costs. So the more money that you can save, whether it's upfront or as a tax benefit, is very, very valuable.
Were you aware of this tax benefit prior to maybe this past week?
No, just learned about it, and it's a real game changer.
Yeah. I mean, just think about it. It's a 20% tax credit. Now, obviously, you have to file your tax return in order to get the credit back.
Right.
But it lowers the effective interest rate by 20%.
Yes. Absolutely.
And so now when you talk to someone, you say, hey, your rate like 7.5%, but with this 20% discount, it really knocks the effective rate down 1.5%. So you're really talking about an effective rate of 6%.
which is lower than what we have right now.
It's a lot
A
lower.
lot lower.
Yeah, it's a lot lower, and it's only available to first-time home buyers. So that is an interesting twist. And you know, I'm a CPA. I do a lot of tax work for clients, and when I recognize this benefit, I was like, why haven't we been doing this more in the past? You know, and maybe we have, but we're definitely exploring and kicking the tires on this. And we want to consult with you. We want to consult with clients, especially first-time home buyers that are nervous about getting in the market. We want to show you how we can help you get this 20% tax credit on your purchase, which then makes you real competitive in today's market. So reach out to us, talk to us about this tax benefit, talk to Carranza, talk to anyone of our team. Happy to do a preliminary tax consultation with you on how this would affect your overall position. And, you know, obviously terms and conditions apply. We want to make sure that you're eligible, but this could be a real game changer if you're a first-time home buyer.